What's going on, peeps? Ryan from Detroit coming to you today. Today I want to come to you for a brief vid, a brief check-in to share with you a little bit more detail behind the why of me purchasing this camera right here, this GRD4, the Ricoh GR Digital 4. This camera is continuing to impress me day over day. And the reason why was two points that I made before, but I'll tell you again, I'll reiterate. Number one, it's the size. The ergonomics of this camera are perfect from a size standpoint. Any smaller would be hard to hold, any larger, it wouldn't fit in your pocket as good. But the size and the functionality that they built into this little package and all the feature sets that Ricoh pumped into this little tiny beast of a camera is there's not a camera that I have found in the world over 20 years of searching that has the capability of this tiny little thing. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the image quality. The images produced out of this GRD are special. Here's why. I was reading something about it. I didn't know that the science existed around this, because sometimes, you know, these older cameras, you use them, you see the results, and you're like, oh my gosh, like how is it doing what it's doing? Here's the deal. On this fourth version of the GR Digital, which was the last version with the really tiny CCD sensor, which I think there's some magic in that CCD sensor. Really small, by the way, 1/1.7 inches, which is about 21 times smaller than a full frame, which I mentioned before. But this camera, the reason why it's special, if you read, go and read about the press release. Go read the press release online. Take a search for GR Digital 4 Ricoh press release. They talk about how the engineers built in algorithms in the highlights to keep, in high contrast situations, keep the camera from being fooled. And essentially, it's not really, a dynamic range protection, but what it does is it doesn't just let the skies or the bright skies just completely blow out. So you keep some texture there. Why is it important? Because for me, I don't shoot RAW. I've always shot JPEGs. I don't like to fuss afterwards. I shot film growing up for 4 or 5 years, 60, 70 weddings. I did do some density correction. I actually worked at a photo lab for a while, so I know what that's all about. But those are all negatives being scanned in digitally anyways. What shooting JPEG for me does, I know I can get more latitude out of RAW, maybe another stop or two, or stop and a half on this tiny little camera, but I don't care about that because I want to frame everything up on the LCD. And the way that the LCD renders based on the brightness that I have it set up, the way that my black and white setting and my color setting render on screen, like I've got it dialed in to right where I want it to be. I don't even need to really, for the most part, go in and add sharpening, anything like that. I'm letting the camera do all of it. I know from an image quality standpoint, this is a big no-no, but from a let's make some art standpoint, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It lets me be an artist, create a final product, a painting, if you will, and then not have to worry about lacquering it or doing something to protect it. There is none of that boring post-process stuff for me, which for me, the shooting and the making art and then seeing it is what is exciting for me. I don't want to go in and doctor up the images, even if I'm going to get a better feel and whatever. Some people like that. It's never been me. What was interesting is this morning I was talking to my wife and my son got a gift from a cousin. It's the old Kofi Kingston right here. This reminded me of when I was a kid, and it hit me in the feels. When I was a kid and I used to watch wrestling or play with Ninja Turtles, I always had a Ninja Turtle or a figurine or a G.I. Joe in my pocket, right? Always had it in my pocket. Everywhere I went, if we were going to eat somewhere, I was with my mom shopping and my aunt, I would pull out a Ninja Turtle or two and I would play, right? And it was like make-believe, my creative mind would go, and if we're in a Kmart, because we were in Kmarts back in the day when they had them, he'd be jumping off the shelves, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Well, enter Ricoh GRD4. This is my Ninja Turtle the Ninja Turtle of my adult life. This thing's in my pocket. I can just dial it, tweak it. I can see things, and I'm like, ooh, that'd be great. A great black and white shot. Bam, pull it out. Click my setting right here. I don't know if you can see it. Just click my setting, my 2 for black and white, my 1 for my color profile, my 3 for my video profile. Dial it in, pop it open, and pow, boom, hit it. Here's the thing, this thing doesn't miss focus. I'm just telling you, the engineering that is inside of this little tiny 10-year-old beast is phenomena. Ricoh did a fantastic job. I can't say it enough. So there's all of those reasons why this camera is super important to me. But what I want to say is, and I thought about this because it kind of made me think. And I'm like, you know, you can see these cameras up here. Those are a bunch of old film cameras. Out of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I've got probably another 4 point-and-shoot film cameras down over there. I'm selling them. I'm going to sell them off except for 2 cameras. One was gifted to me. The other one I found in Chicago. Was such a blessing. Love it. My Minolta Himatic AF2. Love the results that come out of it. No nonsense, no fuss. So I'm going to keep that. But it got me thinking, and I thought, man, if I could only have one camera, for video, for photography, for everything, what would it be? And it really got me thinking, which has changed the way I've been thinking about photography lately over the past 2 or 3 weeks. Hands down, without question, without hesitation, my mind immediately went to this Ricoh GRD4. Why? There has not been another piece of equipment my whole life. And again, I've done some video stuff and I've been thankful for the LinkedIn video and all the different things, but there's been no tool I've ever used my whole life that hits me like this one hits me. So this would be the camera. And feature set, I mean, you got a lot of manual features, overrides, things like that I haven't seen in a camera this size, for sure, which is amazing. But this camera can't do half of what my Sony RX100 Mark 5A can do. The 1-inch sensor versus the 1/1.7-inch sensor. The autofocus, the continuous autofocus here and tracking, the microphones, the dual microphone on top, the zoom, everything in this camera, the way that it's image stabilized. This camera, this GRD can't do it. And this shoots 4K, by the way. I shoot all my stuff in 1080 on these cameras, but it shoots 4K. This shoots 640p. 640p. I would still take this camera. Want to know why? One reason. It inspires me. It inspires me to create art that I love to make and I love to share. And this camera single-handedly, I had no expectation, no desire whatsoever. I've been off of social media with the exception of like YouTube and LinkedIn, but like Instagram, Twitter, all those other socials, I've been off since December. And I poke in once in a while, but they're not even on my phone. And this camera right here, this camera that sits in my pocket, like Kofi Kingston, like the Ninja Turtles. I liked Raphael, he was cool, he had the size. But like this camera right here single-handedly inspired me to get back on Instagram and start sharing my photos. So if you're interested, follow me. All my socials are at Ryan from Detroit. Follow me. I'm creating art. Like almost every day I'm sharing on Instagram photos from this bad boy and just doing a haul. Like, hey, here's 7 or 8 shots I took today that I love. Color, black and white, telling stories. So if you're interested, go take a look. If you got questions, hit me up in the comments below. You're gonna see a lot more of this camera, a lot more from this camera. I've got a little series in my mind that I wanna create from a video perspective for this channel that would be based off of this camera. It's just inspiring me. The fireworks are going off and it's thanks to this little 10-year-old beauty of a camera that if I broke it today, I'd go buy another one immediately. I'd find a way to sell stuff and go buy another one because it means that much to me from a tool perspective. So that's what I got for you. I just wanted to pop in real quick and share with you. If you, like I said, if you have questions, comments, anything you want to see or want to know about this camera, hit me up in the comments. I'm happy to share some more about this camera and a lot more to come. That's what I got. I'm Ryan from Detroit. Thanks everybody for being here. Notice today we hit 150 subs on the YouTubes. You know what I'm saying? I don't do it for the numbers, but I'm thankful for all 150 of you that are on there and following along. So appreciate you. I'm Ryan from Detroit. Till next time, remember, you're amazing. Well, some might want to know who would win in a fight, Kofi Kingston or the Ricoh GRD4. No contest.